Thank you for coming to this screening of High Society and to the 5th Sag Harbor Cinema Festival of Preservation. I'm very thrilled about this show. We have a special guest reaching us from Los Angeles to introduce the film and to explain why this particular screening is so special. Before it, we're going to be showing a short. This year, we're pairing several features with shorts as to honor an old grand movie-going tradition. And the short tonight is very is particular because it only surfaced a couple of weeks ago. Several of you know Joe Loro, our local treasure and archivist, and he, I saw him in a screening, and he said, "Oh, by the way, I know you're doing something with the Fleischers cartoons this year. I just found one, a pristine print in 16 millimeter, and the family thought that the film was lost, and is one of the screen songs series, as a famous series that the Fleischers did, and it pairs very well with this music. And Joe cannot be here tonight because he's in San Francisco. He'll come back tomorrow, but he sent a note that I'm going to read to explain about the cartoon, and then we'll go to the next part of the presentation. So this is Joe speaking. In the mid-1980s, I had the pleasure of becoming friends with Vet Boswell of the Boswell sisters. Some years after she passed away, her family sent me her original 16 millimeter print of the Max Fleischer Bouncing Ball cartoon, When It's Sleepy Time Down South, which her group, the Boswell Sisters, appeared in. The series was called Screen Songs, and the idea was people in the theater would sing along together with the performance on screen and follow the bouncing ball. What is unusual about Vet's print is that it was sent to her directly from the Fleischer studio shortly after it was made in 1932, and includes the original Paramount titles and is uncut. The versions of the cartoon that later appear on television were all edited. The Paramount titles looped off and replaced by the TV distributor NTAs. The song also edited. I also discovered that the guitarist who you hear during the jazz song with the song is jazz guitar pioneer Eddie Lang, who died the following year. We rescanned the print, but it's unrestored, just preserved. So this is from Joe. And now to the feature. I'm delighted to bring you from Los Angeles, the historian, the library historian of Warner Brothers Discovery, and a dear friend of the festival, who's really a gem in the restoration world. And he has been with us from afar so far a few times, and he's George Feltenstein. Here's George.
Thank you very much, Julia. I hope everybody can see and hear me okay, coming from Warner Brothers in Burbank. And I'm actually talking to you from my office. But I'm delighted to present to you a huge restoration project that we completed last year, which has been released on home video in 4K and Blu-ray, but I don't think it's gotten a film festival presentation yet. I think the Sag Harbor Film Festival is its film festival premiere. The motion picture is High Society from 1956. It was MGM's biggest hit film at the box office in that year, and it was also one of the top grossing films within the industry that year. It was just about 70 years ago right now that pre-production began on the movie, and what made the movie interesting was it's a remake with music by Cole Porter of The Philadelphia Story, which had been a hit play on Broadway by Philip Barry, made into a hit movie at MGM 15 years earlier with Katharine Hepburn and Jimmy Stewart and Cary Grant. And MGM asked Cole Porter to put it to music. And then MGM had the good fortune of being able to get Bing Crosby to be one of the stars. And Bing Crosby had just ended his 23-year relationship with Paramount Pictures. So he was a free agent and signed up with MGM to do this movie. And then they had a lovely young lady under contract who was about to leave the studio to become a princess. That is Grace Kelly, who would go on to be the Princess of Monaco, literally right after the film was shot. And then there was another gentleman in the movie, Frank, Sinatra. Yes. Frank Sinatra and Bing Crosby together in a movie was quite an event. And what makes this movie very special from a film preservation standpoint is it was filmed in VistaVision. That is a process by which the film goes through the camera sideways with a double frame, giving you enormous depth of field. And VistaVision was a Paramount owned process. But because Bing Crosby came from Paramount, he urged MGM to use that process for this film. The only other film they used it for was at the insistence of Alfred Hitchcock, and that was North by Northwest, which I believe, Julia, you had at the festival from our previous restoration last year. The exciting thing about High Society and VistaVision, you're going to see that we've been able to restore the picture with unprecedented quality. But the audio was recorded stereophonically because MGM musicals were all about the best possible sound. But VistaVision didn't allow for projection to have stereophonic sound until now. What you're going to hear, you'll be shaking your head saying, this was recorded 70 years ago? It sounds like they're in the theater with you now, probably even better. So it is with great pride, and also our thanks to not only Julia and the Sag Harbor Film Festival, but we also have to acknowledge the promotional support we had on this restoration from the wonderful people at the Film Foundation. They were the ones who said, yes, you should do High Society, Warner Brothers. And we did. And for those who are saying, well, George is from Warner Brothers and this is an MGM musical. Well, Warner Brothers is proud to own all the MGM films made prior to April 1986. It's a very important part of our library, and the legacy of that studio is something we carry in our hearts. So it is with all the movies in our library that we put our passion into the restoration, and I'm delighted to be able to share that with you now, even though I'm 3,000 miles away. I hope you have a wonderful time watching High Society. Thank you.